Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. I have another powerful reading for you today for this coming full moon. But I want to also mention first again the workshop that I finally managed to do, because we will have a program. And this is very important. So the first workshop that I do starts in May and is 1 hour, 6 times. And what we do in this workshop, first, I really need you to explain the approach that I have, which is very different from the Western astrology. For example, that you are not whatever sign your sun is. The sun is your consciousness. And there are many different things, like to learn to understand the language of the symbols that are really important. Otherwise, you won't really understand what's going on. The symbols are always giving us a powerful message. So in the first session, there are six sessions. I give you the approach. I give you how we approach everything. And then we have 4 sessions. We go through the 4 different elements. And it's always like that. We have of each element, we have 3 sections in a chart. So the first section is a beginning, is a beginning of a, like when you plant the seed. The second session is connected with the harvest of what we have, with the highest part of how we can evolve. And then the last section is the decline, is what we move towards to end things, to move forward. So we can say we have a material level in the first section. The second section would be mental, emotional, and the third part will be spiritual. So we can see whatever moves around that defines our quality of time and the curriculum of life. And again, an astrology chart can never tell you who you are. That is what you decide. But you can see the curriculum of your life, and you can see what possibilities are there that you really can move forward in your life. So this is 6 sessions, and I will put the link to the page in my little blog that I have to give you more explanations and the dates and everything. So I hope I see you there, because this is going to be a very powerful little workshop. The second workshop that I will start then in fall will be more of like, you really can start to interpret the charts, including with the aspects and everything. This first workshop is to understand what it is all about, to understand what it is all about, and that you can follow kind of reading a chart. And you can bring 2 charts to the workshop that you can work with. Don't bring too much, because it's too complicated or distracting otherwise. But this will be very interesting. And the last session that we do is like, I will answer questions, and I will kind of make a complete summary for everything what we did, depending what your questions are. Okay, so now let's go to the chart, and I will share my screen now. Okay, here we go. We have a very interesting, very powerful chart. And by the way, this chart is connected with the Thai New Year. We have on the 13th of April is the Thai New Year. So this is especially for people in Thailand also very important to know, because every time we change something, and you know what happened now is we changed the year, everything is changing. So this is kind of the chart that is more or less defined the whole year, and we can go 1 house would be about 1 month. So it's a lot of, see what we see here, there's no fire at all, but there's a lot of water. But we have some aspects that are connected to fire. So we have an 8 is always connected with transfer. We have Pluto in Capricorn. And we have also to see the kind of a double nature of Pluto. It's not just Pluto is not something that is negative, as most people see it. It is connected to that transformative energies that we all need to go through. How can you get anywhere if you are not ready to transform? I mean, this is one of the most important things in our life. Again and again, we cannot stand still. We always need to transform into a higher version of ourselves. And with each transformation, we are supposed to come closer to the divine me, to the true I am. And that is the true evolution. The true evolution is not expanding a business or having a lot of money. Of course, this is nice to do, but it has to go like in balance, hand in hand with your spiritual journey. And we can see that here we have the full moon constellation. The moon is in Virgo, and in Pisces we have the sun with Chiron. Now, Chiron is also a planet to eat. The most as modern astrologer, let's say, in other systems don't work with. But I find it is incredibly important because when you look at the inner and the outer planets, we have the same 7 inner planets, and then the outer planets, which are Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And Chiron makes an ellipse between that, like the outer and the inner are connected through Chiron. And Chiron is in a way a principle of that we all know, for example, from the story of Jesus or the story of the centaur in the Greek mythology. We couldn't really like name a planet Jesus, right? That would be a little bit difficult in our society. But when you look at the story of Chiron, Chiron had a horse lower body and a human upper body. So this is the lower body, the physical body is represented through the horse part, and the spiritual part is represented by the human form, by the head, that can think, that can talk, and that can expand its consciousness to a divine consciousness, to understand who you really are. Now, see, this is a huge chance, but since it's in Pisces, the whole process is mostly not conscious. Now, for example, you cannot learn that by your head. You cannot learn that with reading books or understanding lessons. This is something deep inside that happened. This is like something what happened like when you do a meditation. I had this experience a lot with breathing meditation, rebirthing and things like that, that I really had that feeling that the divine and me is like, you know, two entities suddenly come together. And there was that moment of this bliss, it's ecstasy, bliss, that cannot be said in words. It is like that eternal beingness. And it's also like, even if the meditation was, for example, 20 minutes or whatever, it felt like eternity. And the moment you come back, you are completely in this physical body. There is a moment of sadness because it's similar like a near-death experience. When you have been on the other side and you experience the bliss or the beauty of what is there, the non-judgmental beauty, that you experience that you are loved, you experience that you are good enough. And this is so important that when you come back, the moment, first of all, most the people I know, they had such an experience, they say, no, I don't want to go back. And this is exactly how it feels. But then they come back and they bring something with them that can never, ever be taken away from them anymore. So we have actually a chance here with this, a powerful chance here to move beyond the physical energy. And you can see here Mars is in the last degree of Gemini, already coming close to Cancer. So this can be an understanding, understanding. It is still that the head, like the yin yang that is in our head, has kind of an understanding of what is happening, but still you will not be completely able to put it in words. I mean, there are so many people who talk about it, what happened, but even if you talk to people who had the near-death experience, or they go out of their body in their other consciousness, meditation, whatever a state of consciousness, they can never really say what it feels like. A feeling is, it's again, you know, I can just bring you that old sample with the strawberry again. I can write a whole thesis about what a strawberry tastes like. You will still not know unless you bite into one. So it's so simple, and that's exactly the same. So we have here a potential that we can experience that. And we can see here there is a little triangle here with green lines. The green line, the sextile, is kind of the small gift. We can say here the blue lines are the big gift that we have. Then here we have the challenges, and here we have the opposite. Actually, an opposition is something very positive. First of all, it's usually in the supporting each other elements, and then it helps you to see something because it's right in front of your nose, you're confronted with it. And this is what happened. Like if you go in a meditation, if you use that time quality, you have a wonderful gift, a wonderful chance here with Uranus here. Uranus is just in the beginning of Taurus. That is manifesting something spiritual. And here we have actually 4 planets. We have Saturn, we have Venus, we have Mercury, and we have Neptune. So these planets can help you to deepen an experience that is very important for you, an experience that you can have that will change your whole life. And that will give you that feeling, that glimpse, that seeing, that experience that something really has shifted. And everybody can actually do that. You just have to ask. Ask and you shall receive. Knock and the door shall be open. So if you take the time, if you can also go on the meeting planner. There is a homepage where you can convert time, so you can look exactly like here in the London in the 1 degree time zone. It's 1:22 a.m. in the morning. So if you can find the time within an hour or two, you use this constellation, you will have a great chance to have a very powerful experience. And if you can bring even together a group that you do it together, it's even more powerful. It's always more powerful when you are a few people together. Now, what we have here, see that transformation I said here, and this is already in Capricorn. We have the Sagittarius locked in the first house. So we cannot directly access Jupiter or this energy of Jupiter. And you can see that this is the orange line, that this is a karmic aspect. So this has something to do with the global karma. And it's also connected with the Pluto energy of a transformation that actually in the what we call the sinking of Atlantis at that time did not happen because of the karma of people that they have not been awakened yet. And now we have a very similar situation. A lot of people are awake, but the masses are still not. The masses are still kind of just want to go back before COVID, before all that stuff happened. And this is not the way. You cannot go back. I just got the message also that a lot of young people go back to Orthodox Church. But remember, who is the Lord of this world? And when you have ever followed a little bit also my channel or others who are exposing things like that, you know that who is behind the church. If you also look at certain pictures, you can see it very, very clearly. I might put one of those pictures in my blog. You can just go and check it out. And then you see it very clearly what is going on. So we have to be very careful. We have to be careful because one of my wise friends once said, opium for the people is religion. And we have to be careful not to fall for that again. So this is the trap. See, this is the trap. And this is why the expansion of Jupiter is not activated, is in the Earth sign here. But we have also a trine to the moon. So that means if you really trust your feelings, if you go to harvest here in Virgo, to harvest those feelings that are possible in the moment. And here we have the green line. This is that line, which is the quincunx, which is two aspects. It can be a last chance aspect or I call it divorce aspect, depending from what side you look. When you look from the moon and you go around, it's 150-degree an aspect after the opposition, which is a divorce aspect. And if we come from these planets and go around to the moon, is a last chance aspect. This is always very powerful because this gives you a chance, a last chance, to get a glimpse of something which is not normal. And I talk about norm, not in the box. We have to move out of that box, that we can have an experience which is truly spiritual, which will be the divorce or the moving away and moving out of that box of beliefs, of that box that holds us back, and can open again to more freedom. And here, this is the challenge. You can see the two squares here going to Mars, just at the cusp, even if it's on the last degree of Gemini. Do I follow the mind? Do I follow duality, or do I listen to the feeling, the moon, the heart? And you know, this is just in the end of Gemini, because I think when you look into the world, the judgment, the duality is still prevailing. So I have a feeling that this is a very, very important constellation, a very powerful message that we can here also see. The IC is just between Pisces and Aries. We are just at the threshold of that new beginning, of the end of Pisces. And Pisces represents the third cycle of the elements, the last part where we let go. We can say this is the last part. When we look at the cycle, the circle, like we would say the physical death would be in Capricorn. And then we go into this other realm that some people call heaven, or whatever you want to call it. And this is the moment when we forget again and get ready. Like here in Aquarius, let me just use some simple words. You sit together with the angels of karma, and you look at the lifetimes, and not just one, but also this last one, and said, okay, I have done this is completed, but now this and this and this is not completed. So you put in that karma into this new life. You choose your parents, you choose the circumstances of your life, and then you go into that phase of Pisces. This is the phase before you are reborn, and we can say that in Aries, that new body is born, what you have decided here in Aquarius, and you go through that period. And you can also see that we as a whole mostly go through this period. And you might remember that the last dark moon, we had moon and sun in Pisces. So again, this is the indication that we are going through this last phase. There is not much conscious decision with the mind, but this has to be with the heart, and has to be much, much deeper than just a decision of the mind. So this is a very powerful chart we have, and I hope that this helps you to understand a bit better. If you have a chance, get that time right for a deep meditation, that you have this experience, and ask for it. Ask the angels, ask whatever is you, in your words, the divine creator for you. I don't like the word God so much. It's just a kind of a word, but it doesn't have power. But if I call on the divine source, I feel much, much more energy. Okay, so that's more or less the message that we have here. We are in a transformation. You cannot avoid it. And again, I talked many times about the timelines. It is being decided now if you go on a timeline going up into a higher dimension, or if you go down a timeline and start to repeat cycles and cycles again. Even though the false matrix has fallen, a lot of people still hold it up with their habits and their beliefs. So we have to move out of this box. There's no way around. If you stay in that box, you will go down with it. It's kind of a little bit the Noah situation, you know, all those who laugh at him building that ark, building that ship, and afterwards screaming and crying. It's a little bit like this. So make your decision, and whatever is coming into your life, what is coming, you don't have to search, you don't have to look at the news, anything. You don't have to pay attention to give your energy, your focus away to that political, whatever circus that is happening right now. You have to focus on your spiritual evolution. That is the only way how you can get forward. This is how you decide your future timeline. So, powerful message again. I hope that helps, and I hope I see you in my workshop. I promise you that this will be a very, very powerful revelation. And you can afterwards, even if you don't have the program yet, I can send you some charts from people that you would like to look at. Okay, bye-bye for now. I see you soon again in my next reading, which will be a card reading. Bye-bye.